Alright, so I just got back from watching The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, which is the first Lord of the Rings theatrical movie we've gotten since, in 10 years, I believe, since The Battle of the Five Armies, the third Hobbit movie that came out. So what's special about this one is that it is a anime. It's an anime film, so it's animated in that Japanese anime style by a veteran anime director. I don't know his name. I don't watch a lot of anime myself, but I do know that he is well respected in that style. So they really gave a well respected, experienced. That's what I'm looking for. An experienced director, and you can tell this movie is gorgeous. So anyway, War of the Rohirrim, it's about the one of the most famous sieges of Helm's Deep, and it kind of is the origin story of why Helm's Deep is called Helm's Deep, told through the eyes of Helm Hammerhand, who was one of the kings of Rohan, through his daughter. So I believe this movie is good, not great. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I've watched the movies many times. I've read the books also many times. Anything that's Lord of the Rings, I try to, expose myself to, basically. I try to, read everything. I try to watch everything. I can't get enough of it. So I was quite excited when this movie was announced because, it's something that's new, that's Lord of the Rings, and hey, I'm always open to exploring new stories within this world. We've gotten some mostly good ones, a couple of bad ones, and this is, I would put on the good pile, but not great. And the reason why is because the story and the characters are not the most well developed. I feel like it's very well developed in the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. The characters feel real. The story is a traditional good versus evil story, but the characters do a lot of the legwork. Here, the characters don't have a lot of personality besides their basic stereotype roles that they are placed into. Specifically, the main character, Helm's daughter, Hera. I didn't find her particularly interesting at all. She's one of those main characters, where the plot happens around her and she doesn't really affect anything that's going on around her. So we're just kind of watching things happen through her eyes, but she's not really having much of a say in what's happening, not until the last 15 minutes or so when she has more of an active role in the plot. So that wasn't very interesting to me, and I didn't think that was very good. Also, and this is a common complaint I've had about a lot of movies lately, it's a little too similar. It follows too many of the same plot beats of movies that came before it. This movie is it's supposed to invoke a lot of the famous scenes from The Lord of the Rings that involve Rohan and the Rohirrim. The Charge of the Rohirrim, the Battle of Helm's Deep, a whole bunch of stuff, you name it. It's referenced heavily in this movie, sometimes beat for beat. Not as bad as Moana 2, and not as bad as Gladiator 2 even, but enough for me to notice it, to be like, oh, okay, well, I know what's going to happen here because I've seen The Two Towers, or I've seen Return of the King. I know how this is going to go, and not to my surprise, that's exactly how it went. So that was also something that brought the film down for me. But what saved it for me, and why I still say it's good, is because the animation alone, I think, is worth the price of admission. Like I said earlier, I'm not a huge anime guy. I have not seen a lot of anime, but this movie is gorgeous. It's got great backgrounds. The animation is it's still in that anime style, so it's not super duper fluid, but that doesn't really matter because it's just so gorgeous and detailed and well realized. I enjoyed it almost every single frame of this film. It was really cool. The fight scenes are really well done. Like I mentioned, the backgrounds, the scenery, the creatures, the costumes, the weapons, the armor, it's just all really well done. And even though I said the plot isn't very good, the actual story, there are individual moments, individual scenes that I believe carry this movie. It carried my interest in the movie. I don't want to spoil what they are, but there's about 3 or 4 scenes that I really, really enjoyed. And I believe, like, eventually once this movie is released on streaming, you can probably look up these scenes on YouTube and they'll probably get 1 million views because they're just so cool. But yeah, I was glad I was able to watch these moments happen on a big screen. So I don't think I would recommend this movie if you're a casual Lord of the Rings fan, or if you're, not really into the whole anime thing, like that style of animation kind of turns you off. I don't think I would say this is required viewing for you. But if you are a fan of Lord of the Rings, like me, you've played all the games, you've read all the books, you've watched all the movies, you're a big fan, this is definitely something you should check out. You might hate it, you might love it, or you might be kind of in the middle like me, but I would say that Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, for Lord of the Rings fans and just fans of, action adventure movies in general that are anime, is definitely something that you should go ahead and check out.